Nobody's listening, right?
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Is anybody listening?
Yeah, I got a special one for you today.
Oh, amazing.
Maybe a special one for us, I should say. This is from S. Walker. It's titled, An American in France Feels Connected to Home.
Oh, wow.
I got a feeling that's going to resonate more than we could ever dream of shortly after this.
Yes, that's right.
As a homesick American living in France, this podcast fills my heart with so much joy each week. Every week there's so much to connect with. Maybe you are just a part of my sim because it's as though the content of each episode was specifically selected to be relevant to my life in fun little ways. FYI, I find the French eating schedule of food and food choices incredibly difficult to follow.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is always closed at the time that I would prefer, and it's so hard to get used to as an American. Sure, a meal that takes 2 hours with a nice group of friends can be very nice, but when every single meal takes 2 hours just to feed my daughter 4 chicken nuggets, it's boring and I feel neglected by the waiter, and I would rather be doing something else. I also miss Chick-fil-A so GD much. I could go on and on responding to every topic, but I literally have to go to the grocery store before it closes right now. Thank you for sharing your beautiful relationship and laughter and nonsense with the world. And by the way, the $3 a month that I spend on the Patreon membership is the best thing I buy.
Wow.
I literally never pay extra for anything that I have to, but this podcast is the exception. I'm considering even increasing to a higher level because you all really do deserve a full cup of coffee on me, and we all know that $3 a month isn't enough for a 16-ounce Americano. So if this review gets selected to be read out loud, I just want to encourage everyone to sign up for the Patreon membership to support these wonderful people. It's a small gesture, but if they bring you as much joy as they bring me, it's the least we can do. And
What?
And yes, St. Monica led the way. Love her too.
St. Monica. Wait, what's her name? This woman?
S. Walker.
Or man?
Yeah.
Holy gamoly. That is so amazing, and I swear to God, we didn't pay her for this Patreon ad.
It feels like a plant ad.
It's
it really does.
patreon.com/nobody's listening right.
I felt so much that made me so happy, and then I also felt pretty cringy reading parts of it because it felt pretty.
What a great review.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that. It's really, this is simmy.
Okay. It's gonna,
because the thing that I really wanted to bring to you today, it's even more simmy than you realize. I went to test out a French class last night, an in-person, old-school French class. Now, obviously, we've been Duolingoing our little hearts out.
Yeah,
I love Duo. I did it this morning. It's great, but I really feel like at a certain point, you just need to start talking, with people. And in our class last night, the third quadrant of our class was us simulating being in a restaurant. And we made a...
Slow the fuck down.
Okay.
I need to know everything about this class.
Yes.
You went to the class. I've been dying to hear about it.
And I'm not going to say what the class is called because I want to feel free to talk shit about people.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. But so you went to the class last night. I've been dying to hear. You got home late last night and you're like, let me just tell you on the podcast tomorrow.
Yes.
It'll be
And
great.
I really want us both to start taking classes here. It's going to become like our home away from home. My dream would be for you to catch up to me. Now I have 5 years of French in grade and high school under my belt. So,
I was a Spanish guy.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit ahead of you, but I would love for you to catch up with me so we could have a weekly date night and we could go get dinner early and then go to our French class. Oh my gosh, it would be so amazing.
So if I'm going to do this,
yes,
I need to know from the beginning what it's like.
I'll walk you through it. I'm going to give away too many things, but whatever. You walk into this place.
Yeah.
It feels a little cramped. There are a lot of people there. I was like, wow, there are a lot of people here.
How many people?
Well, there were people waiting for different classes happening. So there are different rooms with different classes. The room that I saw when I walked in now, every class is basically just a big table that everyone sits around.
Like a conference table or a circular table?
Kind of like a conference table.
Okay.
But smaller. The class I sat in on, there were only 5 or 6 students plus the teacher.
Okay, so that wasn't too crowded, or was the room really tiny?
The room was really tiny.
Whoa.
And so, but functional. You don't need that much space.
Okay, back up just a second. You walk in.
Okay,
What's the
so
vibe when you walk in?
Walk in. Someone's there. Bonjour.
Oh, God.
And I said, hi, bonjour. I was like,
cute.
Whatever. She delighted me by the first thing she did. She kind of checked me in and said, oh, you're in this class. You'll have a seat over there because your class hasn't started yet. It's going to start in a few minutes. There's another class in there that needs to clear out, basically.
Sure.
But here's your workbook for today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't write in it because you're just auditing this class.
Okay.
But she said you can participate if you feel comfortable, or you can truly just observe.
Okay.
And you can go sit over there, and there's Perrier in the fridge. See, now I feel like I'm giving away too much, but whatever. There were other tables of other people, and I feel like they were way more advanced, and they were like chatting. And
waiting to get into the rooms?
Waiting to get into different classrooms.
Okay.
And I kind of saw like what it could be down the road. And it also seemed like they had more of a rapport, whereas my class was all sitting there silently on their phones, not talking to one another.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't even know that was my class yet.
Until everyone went into the room.
Everyone goes into the room. It's very small. The teacher was delightful. It was a man, probably 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Cool guy. Cool, as they say, cool.
So he was French?
Cool guy. He's French.
Okay.
He fully has like the French mustache.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God, I swear to God.
Are you serious?
Yes. And we all sit down, but there's like one chair that's in the corner that I would go take, but this other woman took it. And then everyone's sitting around the board table.
So you had to go to the table.
So I had to go to the table.
What was her deal?
She was also auditing the class.
So she got sure.
She got the observing seat.
What a nightmare that would be for me if I was you.
I know. I've thought through all of this.
Jesus.
But the teacher was very clear that I did not have to participate.
And he knew you weren't. This wasn't day one of the class, right?
No.
Of
So
a
this
new
is like
session or
lesson
something?
4 out of 10.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, having the workbook felt, it was incredible. And it took everything
Having the workbook felt incredible?
Yes, I was like, oh, I'm back in school.
Yeah.
And it took everything in my power not to write in it. I had to get out my other little notebook and write stuff down. But having a workbook and like there are all these prompts and these like writing exercises and stuff, that alone sold me on this class.
Okay.
I did participate, but the teacher was really great at like saying who's doing what, and the class I wish had been, by the end of it, we were a little bit more warmed up to each other.
And this is day 4 potentially for some of them?
Yeah, the class everyone seemed pretty in their shells still, which I was a little bit disappointed in, if I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But I was given a gift.
Okay.
In this class, I saw a version of myself sitting across the board table from me.
Yeah.
And it was like a how not to be and how I could so easily be.
What do you mean?
Well, we talked about this with my cheerleading last week. Like, it would have given you the ick how spirited I am. In a class setting like this, and I mean, honestly, probably at work sometimes, I'm very eager to share my thoughts and feelings and to participate, and I like to know things and also a little bit of a kiss ass, let's be honest, like a teacher's pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that called? Brown nosers? Because your nose is up their butt or something? Yeah. And there's poop there. It gets the poop on your nose, so it's brown.
Yes.
Anyway, there was this woman in our class. Now, the first thing she said to the teacher when we sat down, there's homework,
Yeah.
which also excites me. She said, he was saying, how was the homework?
Yeah.
And she was like, pretty easy, like that.
Yeah.
And she has a T-shirt on that has a French phrase.
No.
She has-
No.
she
No.
has-
No. Are you serious?
She has, what are those, outdoor person water bottles?
Nalgene?
Nalgene.
Hydro Flask?
With a Eiffel Tower sticker on it.
Wow. See, you know what's funny is that I'm both envious and hate that person. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean? Because
totally.
part of me is like, fucking good for you. I'm going to my
Yes.
French class. Let me put on my French shirt.
Yes.
That sounds so fun, but I also can't stand you.
Well, also, I find it, we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I gave you a beret for Father's Day or something as a joke. Well, the kids yesterday said, if you go to these classes, you have to wear your beret.
Which I think's funny, right.
I think that is funny, but this was not in jest, obviously. And I, too, am envious of her.
Yeah.
She has it dialed in. Now, she's less of a, thirsty puppy as me in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
She's less of an Elle Woods and more of a Vivian Kensington.
Who's
If
Vivian
we're
Kensington?
talking Legally Blonde, kind of the more cooler. This woman's not snobby at all or anything, but it was really important for me to see her in the class and know a little shade against her. I'm about to throw a little shade her way, but also God bless and you do you.
Yeah.
But she was so eager to be, and maybe she's too far advanced for this class or something. Maybe she was placed in the wrong class.
Yeah.
But anytime, I think a lot of the other people were kind of shut down because the teacher would be like, okay, we're going to create a menu. Well, she's spitting out every single thing that's going on that menu.
Yeah.
No one else. And then it would be dead air, which I also hate in a classroom. And and actually last night, there were times where he was like, who wants to volunteer to be the waiter this time? And everyone's sitting there. She's already gone. And I was
So no
very
one's-
tempted to be like, I will. But then I
Right.
also was like, I'm not taking this class.
Yeah.
So I get it. But also the thing that really pushed me over the edge and was like, okay, Elizabeth, this is a good lesson.
Okay.
Don't be like her. When you answer all of the questions immediately,
Yeah.
no one else has a chance. And some
Sure.
people might take a little bit longer to get to it.
Yeah.
But the thing was, they were going around the table and we had things that we had to say and where people are trying to find the words for it. She would immediately say the word before the person even had a chance to try to find the word.
Wait.
Directly
when
to-
other people are supposed to have a turn,
Yes.
she would jump in?
Yes.
No.
And then the one that really pushed me over the edge
Okay.
was this lovely woman. By the way, all these people are lovely, including the woman that was a reflection of a version of myself.
Okay.
Just to be clear, this is very, very close to what I might bring to a class. And
Yeah.
it was a gift in terms of how to be, because it's been a long time since I've been in a class.
Yeah.
This lovely woman was trying to say a glass of wine or a bottle of wine or something. And I don't even know what the word is. She said I don't know what the word for box is, embouteille or something like that. And this woman laughed and goes, a box of wine?
What?
Yeah. And that was tough. But she didn't mean it mean-spirited, but she I could see she just couldn't help herself.
Yeah.
And I think maybe she needs to be in a more advanced class.
Maybe they'll bump her up.
Maybe. But anyway, that was a gift.
How did the professor deal with that?
He was so kind, and it wasn't so egregious. I'm probably making it sound more egregious because this is intermixed with us learning and talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely, because at first I was like, oh, there I am. And then as the class went on, I'm like, oh no.
So it was a learning experience.
It was a learning experience.
Multiple levels for you.
Very much so.
What was besides the woman in her sweatshirt, what was the girl to guy ratio and what was everybody wearing?
So the teacher is a man. There was one other guy, and then everyone else seemed to be female. People were dressed pretty cute, and actually, as I was walking in, there was a woman who I think is in a more advanced class.
Okay.
Walking in, and she just looked like she was like fresh off the streets of Paris, like cute dress, cute purse. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to up my game.
Yeah.
That's why I'd love to make this like a date night thing for us.
Get you some like French lingerie that you wear each time.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it's like,
well, speaking of lingerie, in this workbook, I flipped to the back because the back has like a glossary of words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a whole page. I like was just flipping through. We're talking about desserts in French, and my jaw dropped because there's like, on one page it's like water, butter, whatever.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. Then the next page is like fuck, to fuck, asshole, slut.
You have this?
Well, we're going to get it if we take the class. There are all these bad words.
Naughty.
Naughty words.
I like it.
And then I didn't want to seem like I was lingering too on. I was dying to take a picture of it, but I couldn't.
Whoa.
But I was just like, I'm so sold, and I think the teacher did a great job. I really enjoyed, including Nalgene. I enjoyed everyone. I mean, she was a great part of the experience in her own way. And
did you get to like chat with people there at all, or not really?
well, it was funny because I'm leaving for London in a couple days, and you are going to have the kids, and I've got kind of fun things coming up, and you're annoyed with me that I have like fun things in my life.
Yeah, I am.
We haven't talked about this, but I can sense it. And I get that. You're like, okay, you're traveling with kids. Like it's a lot to deal with. While I'm flitting off to London for like, I don't know, 72 hours and then coming back. But, and also to get ready for going to London, I'm doing this sleep schedule that you're annoyed with.
Yeah.
I could tell you were annoyed that I got to go to this class. You were annoyed that I signed up for it without you signing up for it. But we've kind of talked through that.
We kind of got in a fight about it.
Yeah, we did.
I was very sad that you signed up for the class without me. I thought it was a journey we were going to go on together.
Yeah.
But we did talk it through, and I understand that you have 4+ years under your belt of French and that we wouldn't have ever been in the same class.
Right.
But I was hurt that you had just did it and were like, surprise, I'm doing a French class. Look at all my new French friends. Look at my professor with this French mustache and all of that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've gone on this journey through that. And at first I was thinking of this as an independent thing that I really wanted you to also be doing. But now my dream of us doing it together is probably stronger than yours even.
Yeah, well, you threw a huge hand grenade on my dream when you decided to sign up without me.
Well, no, but as we've found, there was no grenade because I placed into a different class than
but
you.
it
You
wasn't
take a
even
test.
a conversation. I wish
I
you were
know.
like, I think I want to do classes here. Wouldn't that be fun? Should we test to see where we go? And I would have been like, are we going to be in the same class? And you'd be like, I don't think so. But let's both do the test. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I regret that. But it's all working out, and I want you to do that. Although I will say, I went online today excited to sign up, and I have a coupon even.
Yeah.
I can't do this fucking class. It's so expensive.
Oh.
Do you know how much it is?
No, I want to say like $300.
It's more than that. I mean, not crazy or anything, but I'm also like, we're not in a position right now to be throwing down $800 on French classes. So
It's $800?
for both of us.
Oh, both of us.
See?
Well, maybe I should get started to catch up to you.
Maybe you should. But anyway, last night,
Yeah.
see, now the tables have turned and I'll resent every time you're going out. Last night, though, as I was heading off, you're like, you're not going to be going out for glasses of wine and like fucking these French dudes. You didn't say that, but
Whoa. I didn't say that. Do you think you're going to be fucking the
No.
French dudes?
What is so funny is as I was leaving the class, I was like, there is no world where I would be going out after this class if I were in this class with these people to get a drink ever.
Well,
Like,
guess what? I got a feeling my class, I think there's going to be a big camaraderie, rapport, and we are going to be going out afterwards. You know? Because I think I think I bring an energy that cultivates that kind of atmosphere.
I had to bite my tongue several times to say, I had like jokes that I wanted to say stupid.
You got to be cool. See, what I'm going to bring to this situation is like less is so much more in this kind of thing.
I know.
You got to let them come to you.
I can't do that.
And you got to have mystery for a couple weeks.
Shit. Yeah. So I'm already fucked with this class, but I won't get in.
You got to leave your wedding band in the car.
No, come on, Andy. But can I tell you the joke I wanted to say?
Yeah.
And you will be so disappointed
Yeah,
in
do
me, even for wanting to say it.
Okay.
We said something about like de l'alcool, l'alcool is alcohol, but it's a weird word to say in English. And all of us were like, alcohol? And he's like, yeah, it's alcohol. And we were on it for quite a bit, like everyone's trying it out. And he was like, okay. And I wanted to say, un mot important, which is an important word.
I don't get it though.
I know. Well, like, this is important. We need to know this word, alcohol. Because we all like to party.
Jeez. You got to tone that shit like way down. And you made the right call not to do that
I didn't
joke.
do it. Okay. Well, it would have killed.
That delivery wouldn't have killed.
Well, you had to be there, I guess.
No.
Okay. So,
How long do the sessions run? If we do want to do these classes, is it like for like how many
10 weeks.
10 weeks?
I mean, I know you were joking, and I would kind of feel a little bit like, oh, he's going. But I actually think it's not a bad idea for you to start and see where you get.
Oh, interesting. All right. 10 weeks. And it's like about $400.
Yeah.
$40 a class though. That's not bad at all.
It's not bad. I mean,
If
that's
you
like
do
a
it that
Pilates
way.
class.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great way of looking at it. And you get your workbook.
I think I'll be stoked for the workbook.
Yeah.
But it's really funny to me how much the workbook means to you.
I didn't know we would get a workbook, and it's great. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's really user friendly. It's nothing too complicated.
I know what a workbook is.
Okay.
It's not a fucking computer I've never seen before.
You flip the pages.
pretty-
You know, you there's a cover, and you turn that over, and then there are other pages, and there are things you can write.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I am excited. I don't feel like you gave me enough of the vibe, but I think I'll just
Well,
have
there
to find
wasn't
that.
much vibe.
Is
and
it,
it was
are
hard
the
for me not-
classrooms at least decorated kind of fun French, or is it like once you're in the little classroom, it's like I'm in a cramped little classroom?
It had a warmth to it, both literally and figuratively.
was
Like
hot
by
in
the
there?
end, we were kind of like sweating. Not sweating, but like we all looked a little shiny. But really cool. Cool. And I learned quite a few things.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh no, here we go. Well, anyway, I'm excited for this to embark on this journey. Very excited about the people we might meet along the way.
So you are open to making French class friends.
Oh, I'm completely open. Just there was that wasn't the vibe. Maybe, that wasn't the vibe. I really did like every person in this class. Like, genuinely.
And you're just saying that on the off chance that someone from that class would hear this, right?
Oh, no, I truly, really did.
Okay, that's cool.
what I am excited about is I hope on the first day of whatever class we're in,
Yeah.
they kind of go around and they're like, tell me about yourself and why do you want to know
Yes.
French? Is Nalgene planning to move there?
Right.
Is the woman next to me kept bringing up when she was in France, so I have to assume she went there and thought, oh, I wish I knew more. You know what? I'm going to come back and, I wish I could know everyone's different reasons for wanting to learn French.
Yeah. Great. I think that's definitely an icebreaker they do on day one.
I hope so.
Let's rehearse what you're exactly going to say before day one, though.
Okay.
I feel like you might go a little too...
Right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, do you want to right
Yeah.
now? Okay. So let's go around the room and let's find out why everybody's here. Let's start with you. What's your name?
Oh, I'm, je m'appelle Elizabeth.
Oh, bonjour.
Bonjour. I'm,
You've got a nice vibe.
wait, what am I doing? I'm
Just
saying,
why did you want to take this class?
oh, recently my family and I have started to fantasize about taking a fun trip to France.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there several times, love the country, and would love to be able to communicate and kind of expand on whatever I learned when we go.
I love that. That's great. Welcome to the class.
Merci. Okay.
Now let's do me.
Okay. Bonjour. Tout le monde. That means all of the world. Messing up. S'il vous plaît, tell me about yourself and why you've decided to take this course.
Hey, I'm Andy. I just thought this would be fun. That's the kind of vibe you got to come with.
Oh, shit.
And just like real simple.
Andy, that is really good. Wait. And also, like, I found myself being sexually attracted to you in a new...
That's what I was going for. You got to own that class.
Who did you just remind me of? Huh. Well, anyway,
I don't know,
very good.
some octogenarian powerful person.
Octogenarian?
Isn't that like someone in their 80s?
Yeah. No. Oh, because you think that's what I'm attracted
Yeah,
to?
you're usually attracted to
No,
like old...
I'm not. You don't get it. I am not attracted to the men who show up in my sex fantasies.
You're... Okay. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I actually think I do. You're not attracted to the men. You're attracted to the situation that their presence creates.
Yes.
You're a freak.
I wish I knew the word for like slut right now in French. I couldn't remember any of that. I was so overwhelmed. I was trying to like...
I don't think you want to slut shame in French class your first day.
Well, no. I mean, I'm for our conversation now. Okay, let's move on. That was French class. Very fun. I'm excited.
And how crazy. I mean, that review really is simmy because also...
That is crazy.
It will be crazy to learn all that weird stuff if we can ever make this dream come true.
Yeah.
It does sound... The eating thing might be a little hard.
You know what I was thinking about the eating thing? I'm about to sound so stupid. You know, I'm very kind of anti-diet right now, but anti-diet and also struggling with that. We've talked about that. I've been having some body image issues lately, and I don't know where I'm at. Actually, as of this moment in time, I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. But one of the things that gets me in this good place is listening to like anti-diet podcasts or like even on Instagram looking at like Ashley Graham and really beautiful women who are in, I don't want to say normal, all bodies are normal, but you know what I mean, not size 0 and 2 bodies.
Yeah.
And just being at ease with the body that the vessel that we came in. So one of the very diety things that has swept the nation world recently is intermittent fasting, right?
I was going to ask you about this because you mentioned it maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and I thought you were going to try it, and then I just never heard about it.
Well, because newsflash. Well, no, it wasn't a month or 2 months ago. I think it was like 8 months ago that I was like,
Okay.
this could be, and you know what, like most of these things, I'm like, this is for health, which is what we're all fed. Like,
yeah.
ultimately, it also was like, I want to get smaller.
Gotcha.
Which is...
Because there are people, I guess you would know way more about this than me, but I'm sure there are people that use it solely for dieting. But there are people out there that are like, this is a game changer for me. Like, just like you hear about energy and stuff like that. So I thought it was an interesting thing for you potentially.
Well, I think it is if that's kind of what your body is naturally saying to do. And to be honest,
Yeah.
I already kind of do the very, very low end version of it in the sense that we eat very early at like 6. I finish dinner usually around 6:30. I don't eat again until the morning, which is like the kind of lowest version of it. But I also don't want this to be a commercial for intermittent fasting. I feel like if that's how your body naturally goes, I have a lot of friends who don't eat breakfast because they just don't like eating breakfast, great. But I think restricting to make your body smaller, unless there's some like really dire reason that you need to do that, is ultimately bigger picture not great.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at is I don't think that again, I don't know that much about but that intermittent fasting, I don't think it's really supposed to be used for like, or what is it? It's not like, I don't think you're necessarily eating that much less. You're eating more
Different
in that
times.
Fixed time.
Yes. So that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think what has happened with like anything that's like a new way to restrict, everyone's like, this is the way to lose weight now.
Right.
So there's plenty of science this is why I said I'm going to sound so stupid. There's so much science out there that says maybe it is good for you.
Right.
Who knows, like incrementally how good, if it's really hard and you feel like you're restricting, I don't think it ultimately is good for you, but whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't feel good to me.
You tried it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But the French way of eating, the Spanish way of eating, the Italian way of eating,
yeah,
it would be impossible. You're eating at like 9, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of blows the whole intermittent fasting thing out of the water because they have like better health outcomes in general over there. And I mean, who knows if it's timing or, I mean, obviously the quality of food is much less processed and stuff like that. But like they, I think, have way less heart disease and way less of all of these other things.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, doesn't that kind of call bullshit on intermittent fasting?
Maybe, yeah.
Because if you're eating at 9, 10 p.m. and then you wake up at, and have breakfast at 7 like humans do and they do.
And they're also eating like tons of bread and like a bunch of stuff that a lot
Cheese.
of people think is not the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, it is
so
interesting.
It's kind of like, who knows?
No, I feel you.
And also, this goes into like, I've been kind of really working in this arena and feeling pretty good about it. Working, meaning like doing internal work for myself. It helps to have a partner who, thank you, you tell me constantly how beautiful you think I am. You don't think I need to change anything about me.
Yeah, no, I find you fit.
In fact, I've brought up wanting to change things and you're like, I really think you shouldn't, if you want my opinion.
Right. Or not me saying like...
No, I wasn't coming to you being like, I want to do this. And you're like, no, you can't.
No. More like, should I do this thing? I don't even know. Maybe we could say a specific example. One's not in my head, but yeah, be like, yeah, no, I don't think you should.
Right.
You don't need to.
Like cold scalping.
What's that?
Sculpting is something I could never do because I have cold urticaria. But it's that machine that like freezes your fat cells. And I've had friends do it and they're like, it doesn't work. And in fact, it gives me weird like lines and stuff. So I would never do that. That's an example of something I could come to you with and go, could I do this?
Got you.
And you would be like, I really don't think you should.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's really interesting, like listening to these podcasts and reading articles about this stuff. And there's this American thing of like, all of us, our main goal should be living as long as possible. Like, if that's basically the whole basis of people should weigh less or have smaller bodies is because, smaller bodies live longer or whatever it is.
Okay.
Where, the correlation is, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I don't know. But I feel like there are a lot of things that have been debunked on these podcasts that I've listened to. And it's just interesting. First of all bodies can be healthy. A skinny body could be way less healthy than a body with more fat on it.
Yeah.
Just having more fat on a body doesn't make it less healthy, but that's how we see, like, Americans see things that way.
Right.
And then also, like, we have this idea of, like, how could you eat that way? Because I enjoy it and I like it. Why can't I? Well, because it's not healthy. Like, okay, yeah, I still want to eat it. I enjoy it and I like it. But you'll die sooner. It's like, okay, who got to decide what the values are that we place on our lives, and quality over quantity and all of that stuff? It's just interesting. Now, I feel like there's a lot of disordered eating in this country, and people aren't eating for pleasure. They're eating out of, like, guilt or whatever. And I think there are plenty of eating disorders all over the spectrum. And I think shit gets very fucked up because of sort of these mindsets. And I know that other countries have their own issues, obviously, but I also feel like there's a lot more weight given to the pleasure of eating and being with people and stuff like that.
It's interesting when you think of a place like these European countries of being smaller, for lack of a better word, but that they do enjoy food more. And then if you think of the stereotypical larger American that they're probably stereotyping.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to think of those two connections, sort of. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but, like, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Our relationship with the food seems a little messed up.
I think our relationship with food is pretty messed up, and I think a lot of it stems from, there's so many more well-educated people on this topic than me, but, like, it stems from the patriarchy in many ways and keeping women small. And I feel like my grandmother's generation, like, started popping pills to be tiny, and my parents' generation, and I've seen this, time and time again with unfortunately, my mom was victim to this too, where, like, there is such a premium put on your size, and smaller is better. For women especially, and I'm proud of my generation and the generation, millennials and Gen Zers. I feel like that is breaking in a really cool way, and it makes me so happy. Teddy, I'll just say this, like, you're going to take Teddy to be around some relatives, and we had the conversation. I want you to be aware of what's being said about food and stuff, because at 9 years old, I don't want any of that infiltrating.
Sure, yeah.
I don't want the messaging to get warped and for you to not be able to speak to it after the fact or cut it off at the pass, because we've been so careful about it. I just do not, I have thought about someday she might listen to these podcasts. Now, this might be the least of my worries, that she's hearing my body image issues.
Right.
Given what we've talked about. But my hope is she will be shocked and surprised to hear that I've struggled with this, because
you didn't make that known to her.
I didn't make that known to her, and I didn't make it a thing. I want her to live her life, be in her body, appreciate it, enjoy her food, everything I wish I had.
But isn't it? And you're talking more about like the societal pressures of all of it. Where what I was trying to get at, and I don't think I articulated it right, was what are the real cultural, I guess it is similar, approaches to food that do make us as Americans look so much different than, let's just say, the average person in France, maybe? And is that difference as big as I think it is?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a big stigma in France. I mean, and pressure to be small and everything too there.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Maybe our person who left that review can speak to this, or other people who are more familiar. But here's what I know is they, like, from kindergarten there, the kids are given food and they talk about how it tastes and how, like, the pleasure it brings to them, versus when I was in kindergarten, I already was aware of, like, too much food is bad, and and also the type of food they're eating is really different. And my understanding is, like, counting calories in France would be very kind of gauche. Like, you wouldn't, whereas here it's almost like if you're not doing something like that, if you're not trying, all of us are not trying to be smaller, we're failing, or we don't care, or something like that.
Right.
And I hate, like, here when you get together with people and everyone's like, there's so many fucked up food things. Like, can't we just eat the food and enjoy it and not be like...
Or not make excuses about the food while we're eating it at a party or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people,
and not be like, oh, God, I couldn't, or I'm going to be bad, or all of these stupid things that happen.
But you're getting to, like, I'm wondering in these other cultures, and let's just use France as an example right now, does that not exist, or is it in a different way? Or is there some other horrible shit that's going on where, like, the women of France are starving themselves, or do you know what I mean? Like, or is it more of like, no, they have a healthier relationship to food? And,
probably
like,
all of the above on some level. I think it is healthier in terms of, I think the overall relationship with the food is healthier, probably. Yeah. I would guess. I think the quality of food is just better. Like, and I also think that, they have their own issues. I did read something that was funny that was like, so you're going to France, here's what to expect, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like, number one, which this is not my type of blog, but it has stuck with me. Yeah. It's like, the French women are going to eat and drink way more than you ever would. And they're all going to be like half your size. Just deal with it. So.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's so complex, obviously. It's a complicated issue that you and I don't know that much about, but I do know a little bit about it. And obviously I've had my share of struggles. It bums me out. We were doing something podcast oriented and we listened to an episode from many, many, many years ago of ours. And we were doing a bra ad in it for Third Love bras, which I still love. Yeah. And the way I was selling it, I was like, I love this bra. Like, this bra, when I put it on, it's like one of the only bras that it covers up, like, the fat shelf on my back that I hate. And even hearing that, I was like, fuck, that was, nearish a decade ago, and I'm still in this.
Right.
It really fucking bums me out.
It's so, but that example's so interesting to me because, and I see how emotional you look right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if a bra showed up in the mail and you put it on and it didn't have some line that you've had with other bras, it's like, oh, I like this. I think this looks better and it's more comfortable. It doesn't seem crazy to me that you would say that. Like, and I'm saying that to you of not beating your old self up for having that angle on it.
I think I just know
where that comes from.
Where it came from, and
which I understand
I'm also
that.
Like, I feel a little, going back to St. Louis is also a little bit of a trigger for me, and like, it's wedding season. I want to look great at all these events and stuff, and and again, what is great? Why is one version of me more great than the other? And as you said, Andy, you pointed out, I don't look different. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I've gained a few pounds. I'm walking around feeling like it's this huge thing. And you're like, I've never I mean, even looking back on the cheerleading thing, obviously I was smaller then, as a teenager should be compared to their 40-year-old self. But the difference is not like jaw-dropping.
No, yeah, you are who you've been.
It's an organic difference of that's someone who grew older.
Right.
And yet my mind, I have such a distorted view of things. And I also have a distorted view the other way, in the sense of like going out and feeling like, oh, I'm hot shit. I feel like I look great. And then I'll see a picture later and I'm like, that's what I look like?
Oh, we've all experienced, all experienced that. But I think what's interesting, and we do know that I am like one of the least observant people in the world.
Yeah.
So I do understand that, and maybe you can like chop some of my comments down. But I think in general, what you're saying about you is like 100% true. Like, you are who you are. No one is seeing you and being like, oh my gosh, she's so much bigger or she's so much smaller. Right.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing to remember for most people in general. We are all so self-centered. We're not really ever thinking about that of other people unless there are extremes in play.
Well, yes. Right. Exactly.
Or unless we're really hyper-focusing on other people because of our own issues.
Yes.
Right? But like, the thing I'm probably most noticing about people is like, if someone looks like real rough and haggard, like, oh shit, like, is life hard right now? Like, if I haven't seen someone in a while, that will jump out at me more than like, have they put on 10 pounds? Have they lost 10 pounds? It's more like an overall thing to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I think that's a good thing to remember. It's like,
I think that's exactly spot on. I think like going back to St. Louis triggered me because I feel like growing up there, it was, oh, you've put on 10 pounds or, oh, you've lost 10 pounds. Like, that little difference mattered to people because the kind of, and I realize I feel like I've shit talked St. Louis so much recently. I consider it home.
Yeah.
I love St. Louis. I love the people I still am in touch with who live there. They're some of the most important people in my life. So this is just my own shit that's been triggered, and like,
I think there's part of you that probably is ascribing some of this to that particular lifestyle and that particular area, which I think probably in your head you're doing a little bit and you feel bad about. I think there might be a little of that's true, but I think the real thing is St. Louis is a metaphor for your childhood and growing up.
Yes.
And being a teenage girl.
Right. I could be anyone, anywhere.
Right. So I think that's more the takeaway. Even you growing up in LA and you then lived in New York, you would be talking about LA in this way.
Right.
Right.
So here's where I'm at. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, is I feel like very actually at peace with food right now. And I've been enjoying the shit out of it. I don't feel like I'm restricting at all. And I also don't feel like I'm, like binging is so far in my past. I don't have an issue with that. And I feel really at peace with it.
Yeah.
When I see women with larger bodies online, I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I have not yet gotten to the place where I can afford that same grace for myself.
Right.
And I don't know how to get there. And like hearing that fucking podcast, I'm like, this has been my whole life. Like, my mom put me on a diet with her when I was 12.
Right.
I had binge eating disorder like pretty much right when we first met, Andy, in New York, or second met. And went to therapy.
What does that did that look like?
Well, it's really interesting because at the time, I mean, speaking of like body and stuff, I think because I lived in New York and stuff, I never gained weight or anything, but it was honestly because I was trying to lose weight. But more than that, it was like seeking a sense of control. Like, if you look at my trajectory there, it was my parents died. I moved to West Hollywood. I like lived with this weird guy who lied all the time. Then I moved to New York.
Yeah.
I was trying to find myself and figure shit out. And that's when it all kind of bubbled up. And to me, that looked like my entire day, like outside of working,
Yeah.
was spent like, ooh, I need to get the brownie from Veselka and I need to go get this. And then the right things that are going to, it felt like an itch that couldn't be scratched.
Oh,
And then I would
interesting.
like eat it all watching Golden Girls or whatever I would watch in kind of a fugue state. Like, and it wasn't even, I mean, it wasn't like such a massive quantity. I never purged. I never like, you know, but I felt out of control. It felt like it had taken over my life. Literally, all of my time was dedicated to trying to scratch this itch that I never could. And then I would feel so guilty and I'd be like, I'm not eating for 3 days or whatever it is.
Oh.
It was such an unhealthy emotional place.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful to my therapist who, you know, worked with me. And I climbed out of that version of it. But of course, it's like bubbled up here and there in just little ways. And it's way less about like getting all this stuff and literally binging. And it's more about just emotionally eating like, you know, gummy bears. Oh, I'm going to have like a whole handful of gummy bears, not because I really want it. It's like a weird, I don't know. I haven't felt that issue in many months, and I feel really good where I'm at with food. I just wish I could be more accepting of my bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if, you know, I don't know what the answer is.
I mean, shit, it's worth looking for, though. I would love for you to feel that way, too. I would love for you to see you the way I see you.
I would love to see me. I'm also like, you're so kind about me that I'm like, I think you might like have some sort of really distorted view of me. And you're the only one.
I don't think we're living in that world at all.
Well, anyway.
Wow.
Golly.
Jeez.
Should we edit all of that out?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. All right. Well, that's today's episode.
Whoa. Okay. We did it.
What fun clips will you find for? All right. Good night.
Good night.